Welcome everyone to today's Ninja Skill Booster. Nearly the end of February already. Stop the stress cycle is what we're looking at today. Building pause into your routine. Building some calm in there. Is my sound echoing? Is the sound quality okay for everyone else? Just put yes in the chat if the sound quality is okay for us. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. So building pause into your routine. Today we're really looking at how to slow down, calm down. That is going to help us with getting our priorities clear. We need to remember that we can't do everything. Some people commented in the chat, I'm here because I want to learn how to do everything. I'm sorry, we're not going to learn how to do everything. We might learn how to say no to some things. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we are all coming from today. I'm coming from Gurringai country, the northern beaches of Sydney. Sounds like Chantel's got an echo as well. Seems like the sound quality is okay for other people. Maybe just check. Yeah, sound quality is okay. I'm just going to keep going. So for those of you that haven't met me, sorry, bit of a disturbed, well, acknowledgement of country there. So I'll just mention that again. I do want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we're all coming from. Acknowledge the elders past, present, and emerging. For those of you that haven't met me, welcome. My name is Matt, or Ninja Matt. It's very great to have you all here. If you've joined us for the repeat session, welcome back. We love having you here. This is about building community, building connection. I would do these every day if I could to support you. What we're all about at Think Productive is supporting you to love Mondays, supporting you to find more fulfillment in your work. For those of you that don't know much about Think Productive, I'm going to share our info pack with you shortly. We were founded by Graham Alcott. Our head office is in the UK. I'm the owner of Think Productive here in Australia and New Zealand. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Career Trackers crew. Welcome to everyone who is with us today. Thank you for joining. Today is Ninja Skill Booster, one of the many things we offer. So we offer a whole range of services that we can come and deliver in-house for your businesses, your teams, your organizations. That's all on the left-hand side there. We also do a lot of free complimentary stuff to support our community, and the Ninja Skill Boosters is one of those. So once again, welcome along today. For those of you that would like more information about what we do, this is a brilliant way to learn about it, to see what we do, to get in touch with it all. It's our brochure. Our brochure outlines a little bit about the business, and on 3 pages here within the brochure, a lovely list of all the different workshops we can offer. So I'm just putting a link to this in the chat for you. So you can download that if you like. That's a PDF. So for today, please let's use the chat. Let's connect. I love it when we get lots of interaction from our groups in these big webinars. We can learn so much from each other. You are all muted. When we've got so many people on the line, we need to do it in this webinar format. Otherwise, it all just gets a bit crazy. But please use the chat if you have any questions. And when we want interaction, I'll let you know to put comments in the chat. Now, firstly, productivity. What is it? Sometimes we think it's working harder. Sometimes we focus on efficiency. Graham, our head ninja, defines it as making space for what matters. At Think Productive, we are getting more and more and more focused on this idea of space. Do you feel like your world and your life is going faster and faster and getting fuller and fuller and fuller? Yes, probably. This is causing brain overload. So today is all about making space. How can we slow down? I'm even trying to slow down my pace today. Those of you that know me know that I often get excited and talk very fast, but the the vibe today that I want in this webinar is one of slowness, to model and show that if we slow down, we can still get a lot done. So if your brain feels like this, many of you have seen this slide in our ninja workshops. If your brain feels like this, you're not alone. I'd love you to put in the chat, please. How does it feel for you when your brain is busy like this, when you've got a lot going on in your head, what's the first word that comes to mind, or the emotion? Chaos, fuzzy, stressed, overwhelming, 200 tabs, ADHD, yes, manic, exhausting. It is exhausting. That's an interesting one. Overwhelmed, tired. So if your brain feels like this, we always recommend take some time to clear it. Take some time to do the brain dump. Get everything out of your head, get it into a system. We call this system your second brain. So clear your head, get it into a system, and then you get to choose. Then you get to choose your priorities more carefully. And when I talk about prioritization, it is about choosing what we're going to do, but it's also about choosing what we're not going to do. So the flip side of prioritization is getting really clear on what I'm not going to do, because we can't do everything. Now, our brain is wired to be a little bit unhelpful. Our wiring is unhelpful. Our brain is wired to be very focused on the problems and the negative. The tiger in the bush. So interesting image, this one. This is representing, if we're out there gathering food in the forest, it probably wouldn't be carrots. It would probably be berries and nuts and seeds. But if we're out there gathering food in the forest, our brain, our primitive brain, is wired to keep an eye out for the tiger, keep an eye out for danger. If we're sitting in our office or in a team meeting, our brain is doing the same thing. It's focused on, what's the danger here? Am I safe? This is why it's often very stressful. Our brains are wired to notice more of the negative than the positive. Dr. Rick Hanson, beautiful man, a neuropsychologist from Canada. Dr. Rick Hanson describes our brain as Teflon for the good and Velcro for the bad. So when these bad things do happen, we remember all the bad things. We don't remember the good things. We're going to focus on this more later in the session, how to bring in more of the good things. It's our natural wiring, but we can slowly change it over time. So have a read of this quote. Thanks, Diane. The more drained our emotional cup is, the more inclined we are to try refilling it with the things that drain it even more. It's a long quote and a lot of words. What this is saying is, if we are more tired, more run down, if we let our brain get into this drained state, we make less empowered decisions. We're more likely to reach for the chocolate or the wine than do something more positive for ourselves. So Rachel Barr, who wrote this book, How to Make Your Brain Your Best Friend, has a master's degree in molecular neuroscience, a PhD in the electrophysiology of memory and sleep. Rachel Barr knows about this, right? So the concept behind this is really about thinking, when we are starting to feel exhausted, run down, tired, we need to take a break. We need to recharge our battery. I like to think of it like our phone. We plug it in when when the battery's getting low, which just reminds me, sorry, put my phone on flight mode over there. We need to take breaks. It's the having of the break. It's it's the doing the break that recharges the battery. It's how we plug ourselves in to recharge. Now, breaks can take all sorts of things. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this. We can have micro pauses, daily pauses, weekly pauses. The key thing here today is to be thinking about, where can we build in these pauses? So I want your help here. I've got some suggestions, obviously, but I want to see this in the chat. A micro pause might be a 5 minute or even a 2 minute pause. So let's just think about these micro pauses, and I'd love you to add to the chat, please. What do you do to have a micro pause? And I see Jennifer's comment here that when we are in this run down state, maybe social media is the thing that is the crutch. So instead of that, this is where we start looking for changes. If we want to change a habit, we want to do something else. So let's look at some of these micro pauses. Thank you for all this. Take a walk, get up and stretch, make tea, snuggle the dogs, walk around the block, have a stretch, walk to the letterbox, raise my vibes through music. Yeah. So these pauses are about thinking, how can I have a break? How can I reset my system? Refill my water bottle, stand up, walk around the building, get coffee. Okay, beautiful. Some really good ideas there for micro pauses. What about daily pauses? What about something a bit more structured? Something you can build into your day. Might be a half hour or an hour. What are some examples, please, of daily pauses that you could actually structure? You could schedule them, put them in your calendar every day so they happen. Dog walks, exercise, cleaning. You know, I need some of that, Hannah. Walk at lunchtime with colleagues. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away. Walking, Pilates, sitting outside for lunch, taking a lunch break, going to the gym. Yeah. So these daily pauses, to think about these, and the encouragement here today is to really think about how you structure your day, your work, your life, and plan these. Put them in the calendar so they happen. Nice. So we're building up here. We've got a micro pause when we just need this quick break. This is all beautiful self-care, the daily pauses that we can be planning for. What about weekly? What about something that's a bit bigger, a bit like something we do once a week that's going to really recharge our batteries? Let's get some examples of those once a week. Once again, we want to be scheduling these. We want to be planning these. Park run. Yeah, what a great idea because it schedules itself for you on Saturday mornings. For me, Wednesday morning, this morning, I go to a Mongrels Men meetup. Mongrels Men is a men's mental health meetup down at the local beach. So that's a weekly pause for me. I just go on Wednesday morning. Playing sport, long walks, market shopping. Yes. Family cheese platter after work on a Friday. Yeah. So these weekly rituals are so good. These weekly rituals are the things that create the pause. From a work perspective, I'd also recommend the weekly review that we talk about in our Productivity Ninja workshops. The weekly review, putting aside some time once a week to do some reflection and some planning, some boss thinking. So the point here, and I've spent a bit of time on this slide, is make a note of a few things right now. What could maybe three things under each of these categories? What are some micro pauses you can choose from, daily pauses you'd like to plan for, and weekly pauses that you could put in there? Plan these, schedule these. If we're not planning and scheduling, they won't happen. Now, Ariana Huffington wrote this beautiful book, The Sleep Revolution. If you take care of your mind, you take care of the world. What a lovely way to think about it. Many people are feeling at the moment that the world is crazy. Let's not get political, but the world is unstable. The world is scary for many people at the moment. So we talk about starting in our own backyard. We don't even have to start in our own backyard. We can start in our own mind. So if we take care of our mind, we take care of the world. Now, this takes many forms. For Ariana Huffington, she focused on sleep. That's how she brought in this concept of taking care of our mind. She was struggling with sleep deprivation. She passed out in her office. She hit her head on the desk. It was a bad head injury. And she decided from that sleep is the thing that's going to change the world. So sleep is like a physical fuel. If you struggle with sleep, definitely look at her book, The Sleep Revolution. It's crucial. We need 7 to 9 hours a night. People who think they can get away on that, there's a few outliers, but most of us need 7 hours a night at least. Things to improve sleep. Don't take your phone to bed with you. Um, have a routine, have a dark room, all these kind of things. And I want to add to the sleep, just general rest, taking breaks, short breaks. This will come up again later, but this slide always reminds me to share this little mantra or this little phrase that resting is investing. Resting is investing in our future self. So when we're thinking about reducing the stress, that's what today's all about. Reducing the stress so we can be clearer on our priorities. We're not just in this robotic go, 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 go state of mind. Sleep is a really important part of it. Nutrition, of course, is a really important part of it. Eat the rainbow. Add as many different plants and vegetables to your meals as you can. Get the diversity in there. We tend to re-eat the same things over and over and over again. So maybe today choose something different for lunch, right? It's not just the interest it's going to give, it's the nutrition, different vitamins, minerals, etc., coming from different things. So eat the rainbow, eat as much diversity as you possibly can. In physical fuel, definitely movement. Now, we may not all have stand-up desks and desk treadmills, but I am sitting down at the moment. Quite often I'll be standing up, but regular movement. The body needs to be moving, getting up, and even just a 1 minute stretch. So important. Our bodies get locked if we're not getting this regular movement. So this is physical fuel. Regular movement. Movement activates our lymphatic system. This is draining our body. We need this. So if you find yourself sitting all day, these are just some reminders. Mental fuel, mental health, looking after our brain again, putting our own oxygen mask on first. That's what this is all about, this image. Taking care of ourselves, taking care of our own mind is going to help others. So the breaks, the breathing practices, finding inspiration. Once again, slowing down so that we can look after ourselves. Deep fuel, thinking of ourselves as part of nature. I love this image. This always comes up in our productivity ninja workshops. And it's like, think of yourself like a plant. We need all the ingredients, but we also need fun. We also need fun. So make sure we're bringing some fun into our life as well. What do you enjoy? Maybe if you could all pop in the chat now, a hobby that you do or you'd like to do. Let's see how diverse we are as humans. We've got 200 people with us here. How diverse can we be? Cooking, painting, reading, motorsport, volleyball, gardening, meditating, eating, cross stitching, crochet. What's the most diverse thing we could get here? Art and dancing, motorbike riding. Thank you. So all of the roasting coffee. Yes, please, Tiffany. So all of these things, bring them into your life. Choose what's going to support you. Mental fuel, mental relaxation comes from doing things we love. Doing things we love is such a great way to refresh our brain, refresh our mind, reduce the stress. So today really is about how do we reduce the stress so that we can then focus more, so that we can then prioritize better. And finding perspective. Sometimes it feels a bit hard. Sometimes it feels like we're trying to climb this rock, whatever it is. But zooming out and celebrating success really matters. Take time to celebrate your own success, the success of the people around you. It was interesting in a workshop I was running yesterday. I had a question, which was, how do we celebrate success when we don't have a culture of doing that in our team? How do we do that? It's about starting with small steps and making it okay. I heard recently about one of our clients who introduced a Friday afternoon celebration meeting where all they do on a Friday afternoon with their team is celebrate their success from the week. They don't do anything else in that meeting. It's just about celebrating success. So that's a great way to bring in that culture. The other way to start changing the culture is make it okay to celebrate success. We also talk about a to-do list. A to-do list is taking time to celebrate what you've completed. It doesn't have to be a major success. It's just all the little things I've done. Have a look at them. You don't have to create another list, but and maybe share that with your colleagues. You might create a Teams chat or a Slack channel where you can do this, where you can celebrate some successes. Celebrate some ta-das. So I'm going to open up for questions, but these sessions are so short, only 30 minutes. So I want to just give you some time here to reflect some actions that we've talked about already. Maybe get 3 actions from this session now. So we've talked about clearing the brain. We've talked about taking breaks. All those different types of pauses we can structure throughout the week. Micro pauses, which are going to happen just randomly, but then pauses we can plan for. The daily pauses, the weekly pauses. Sleep. Maybe you're going to make sleep a priority. Nutrition. Are you going to have something different for lunch today? What's your plan here? So set yourself a plan. Yeah, thank you. Please feel to share it in the chat. We talked about putting on your own oxygen mask first. If you're always looking after other people, take some time for yourself. Might be reading a book, sitting in the sun, sitting in the shade, going for a swim in the ocean, going for a walk in the forest, whatever it is. Yeah, thank you. I can see a lot of you are putting these 3 actions in the chat. Find perspective when it's feeling hard. Zoom out. Put your phone away. Yeah, thanks, Jocelyn. Put your phone away so it's not affecting your sleep. I'm going to read some more from the chat here. I think I'll set a reminder or alarm to remember the micropauses. Yes, thanks, Jennifer. Knowing my emotional intelligence to regulate stress. Yeah, checking in with ourselves, one of the best definitions of mindfulness. Turning towards our experience from Professor Judson Brewer. Tim says, I haven't been doing daily and weekly pauses and I've stopped doing the weekly reviews. Thank you for your honesty, Tim. Just get back to it. Yeah, which I'll return to, you say there. Thanks, Tim. Getting up from my desk, more swimming. Thanks, Kayla. Less screen time. So everyone, there's theory here, right? There's theory. You know the theory. It's about putting it into practice. If we want to reduce our stress, if we want to improve our well-being, it's about doing it. Not looking for more theory, not looking for more ideas, but just start small. So we've only scratched the surface today. We cover a lot of these things in our workshops. And once again, if you want information on our workshops and our coaching and our programs, have a look at our website or download the brochure. A lot of people get a bit overwhelmed with the website, so the brochure is a really lovely way to do it. Can I provide info on the Teflon Velcro author? Yes, it's Dr. Rick Hansen. I'll put it in the chat for you. Dr. Rick Hansen is a lovely human being from Canada. He also has a great podcast with his son, Forrest, and the podcast is called Being Well. I strongly recommend all that. Dr. Rick Hansen even has a video on YouTube about the Teflon and Velcro idea that I talked about. So yeah, have a look at that. So there's the brochure again. If you want more information, it's all there for those that don't know much about us. In news, what's coming up? We've got a couple of public workshops coming up in April, nothing in March, but a couple in April. So mastering Microsoft Teams meetings. This is a new workshop we've launched where we go deep into Microsoft Teams meetings, how to make your meetings better. And we've got another 6 weeks to Ninja program coming up in April. There are early bird tickets available for these at the moment, so you're welcome to go and check those out on our website. Please stay in touch with me if you have any questions. I have a giveaway that I'm just about to do, so don't leave. But here are my contact details. I'm going to put my link in the chat there for you as well, if you want to connect on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone, for all your lovely comments there in the chat. Stay in touch. Get in touch. I am here to help you. If you're stressed, if you're overwhelmed with work, let me know. Let's have a chat. All right, I'll stop the recording now and we'll do the giveaway.